We're on. Oh, hi. Hey, everybody. All right. Thank you for coming tonight. Those of you who made it here in person, we appreciate you being here with us. And those of you who are joining us online, thank you for taking time this evening to be part of our professional development opportunity, this spring session. And you'll be amazed at how much we have to share tonight. There are so many changes and so many improvements and so many things that you need to know about that we are glad you're joining us here in person and in the online environment. So thank you for coming. We'll stick to our schedule as always. There's a somebody talking to me. It was me. Anyhow, so it's going to be a great evening. We have a lot to share with you, and we're really looking forward to it. And we are fortunate tonight for our devotion to have a very special person join us who was pre-recorded live and will be coming to you via recording this evening on live stream. And we're very fortunate to have Dr. Barbara Howard, our very own Dr. Barbara Howard, share the devotion tonight, and we're so pleased that she was able to do this. And many of you know Barbara. She's our amazing symposium coordinator and adjunct faculty, full-time faculty. So Barbara is going to share our devotion. So at this time, Ryan, if you would bring her up. And we're Those of you who are online, are you able to hear well, or is there feedback, or how is the sound online? Let us know in the chat. How's it going out there online? Can you hear okay? Are you getting feedback, or are you okay? All right, good. Well, if we have sound and we're good to go, we're going to go ahead and continue. So I'm going to introduce Dr. Kent Schechtemeyer, who's going to be making a few welcoming comments from our Dean's office. And Kent, it's all yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ron. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everybody at home tonight. Thank you so much for coming to this professional development evening. I bring you greetings tonight from our Dean, Dr. Deb Mercier. Gives her very best to all of you. And our Provost, Dr. Peter Sinkbile, says hello to all of you and thank you for your time tonight. And just thank you to everybody who's a part of this MAED leadership team as instructors. We certainly value your expertise and your commitment to excellence, and just value your partnership in the team that we call the School of Education MAED team. Tonight's evening is titled Professional Development. We're here to get better, aren't we? And we're going to talk about how to get better. And that's a good thing, to be about professional development. I just finished a pretty interesting book, biography on Sam Walton, the founder of the Walmart stores. Very engaging read to read about his life history. And in that book, he talks about his commitment every day to make something better. Even when they'd go on vacation as a family, he would go into stores and just walk through stores to find out ideas on how to make the Walmart stores better. I find that very engaging, very, very exciting to be around people who embrace this continual quest to get better. I have kind of followed that in my lifetime, I guess. Ever since I was a young boy, I've tried to get better. Ever since my parents told me my last name had 14 letters in it, Schlechtemeyer, right? So I was part of trying to get better. And finally at 18, I learned how to spell Schlechtemeyer. So that was a big day. Some of you have heard me tell you the story that I used to be a competitive figure skater. And I learned a very valuable lesson in my life at the age of 16. I had started figure skating as a 7th grader all the way through my senior year in high school, and my whole goal in my life was to make the national figure skating team. And as a sophomore, I missed making the national figure skating team. The nationals were in Buffalo, New York that year, and I missed by 3/100ths of a point. And as a 16-year-old adolescent, I was very disappointed, and I was actually very angry with the judges. You know, it's kind of a subjective sport. Like gymnastics, you're kind of at the judge's mercy a little bit. And I went back to the hotel and kind of threw my skates, and you know, I probably said some not some very nice things about the judges. But my dad gave me a very, very important lesson at that stage of my life, a lesson that has stuck with me to my age still today. He said, you know, Kent, you need to get better. You just need to get better. Don't rely on the judges to like you. You just need to get better. And so I took that to heart at that age, and that was kind of a turning point in my life. My whole philosophy in life is trying to get better, to embrace the quest for excellence. So I'm thankful for that lesson. A book I read years ago was on Toyota. Toyota, #1 car manufacturer in the world. Toyota, their quest is to make a car that is so efficient that it will even give back to the environment. Not just deplete our oil supply, our gas supply, electricity supply, but will actually give back. They're constantly trying to get better. And they build their manufacturing plant after the Japanese concept of Kaizen, which is the relentless pursuit of getting better. And so tonight, we look at how to get better. We're going to look at some ideas on how we are trying to make our MAED programs better. If our MAED programs aren't better in 12 months from today, we're probably doing something wrong. And each one of us needs to commit ourselves to getting better. As instructors, there are ways to get better, aren't there? Even just consider between now and the next time you start teaching a quarter, which is what, Monday, Kelly? I think Monday. I don't know if you can do it between now on Monday, but just take week number 1. Week number 1 of the Blackboard shell. Is there some way to come up with a little bit more creative story to integrate into week 1? Maybe a way to enhance your video production that you incorporate into the course, maybe improve the sound quality. Is there a way to respond to students a little bit quicker this next quarter than you did last quarter? There are a lot of ways that we can improve. And I think that's just the ongoing quest, the ongoing goal of the School of Education. Just keep looking for ways to get better. And so tonight, I thank you for being here, eager to participate in the program tonight and find out some ideas from our leaders. They're eager to talk to you about some ways that we're already enhancing the programs. And to all of you who teach, just thank you so much for your commitment to excellence. Thank you so much for your commitment to the Lord Jesus Christ, to integrate your faith into your courses whenever you can. And thank you so much for your commitment to our students. It's a real privilege for me to be partners with you in the School of Ed. So thank you for your time tonight. Ron?
Kent, thank you. And I have to confess, Kent, yes, every time I write you an email, I have to look up your name. I still haven't got it down. Okay, so tonight is about getting better. And Kathy Mueller is going to come on up, and she's going to talk to us about some of the systems in place that will help everything run smoothly. And, you know, behind the scenes, everything happens with Kathy as far as making everything work. So thank you for listening very carefully to Kathy. He has some great things to share.
And I'm Kent's assistant, and I type his name all the time, and I still get it wrong, too. Okay, so today, if you want to go on to the next slide for me. Thank you. Okay, so today what we're going to talk about is our new teaching placement protocol. So now it's a 3-step process. And the first step is the initial contact that you'll receive. And you'll receive that from Sandra. You can go to the next slide for me. Maybe I should move it. Thank you. Yeah, awesome. And Kelly's going to interject if I stray or get something wrong, she'll help me out here. Okay, so the step 1 is initial contact. You'll receive a phone call, an email, or a text from Sandra or Kelly. So that's the very first step of you being given an assignment here in the School of Education. The next step 2 is the intent to teach, and that's a new document you've been seeing, and that includes all of the assignment information, and that will come for right now. It will come from me. It may come from Maggie McMillian, and when it comes from me, it'll go through Adobe Sign. Just like your contracts go that way. And so let's talk a little bit about that intent to teach. Okay, so this is what the first page looks like. So it'll have your name on there, and then the second section right here with the date, that's when I need to hear back from you that you are accepting this assignment, okay? And then it'll go through all the assignments. Let's go to the next slide. So let's look at this person, Charlie Brown. Professor Brown has been given an assignment. This is his first assignment. These are the term dates. Then it says what program he's teaching in. This is the course he's teaching. I'm not going to put CRNs there just because sometimes things change with the CRN. You might be teaching the same course, but it might change with CRN. So wait for your actual contract for the CRN. But at this stage, this is the title of the course and how it's delivered, and when the synchronous sessions are, what day of the week that is, and then I've added another column here. This is the first pay date for this assignment and how many pays it's going to be. So in the past, there's been many times it's been only 4 paychecks, but sometimes it's actually 5. So I got a lot of emails this time from people saying, my pay is different, and it's because of, it's because of when the term begins and ends. And that's what determines how many pays the assignment is. So this one would be 5 pays starting. Your first paycheck would be on February 5th, okay? So hopefully that's going to give you, this document is going to give you a whole bunch of information that you need. Okay, so next slide. So this person has 2 assignments, but if you know, you'll see that there's new dates. So this was spring 1, this is spring 2, okay? And so he's also teaching in admin, so he has another course in admin, and then it's blended, and you can see that the times are different. See the synchronous session times? For PPSC, it was at 4:30 and 6:30. Here it's 6 and 7:30. It's on Mondays, and then these are the pay dates. So the first pay date would be 3/20 for spring 2, okay? And then one more, and you, yeah, go ahead and show the next one. And then assignment 3, not many people have 3 assignments across the board. And you usually will not have more than really 1 assignment. And if you are teaching or if you're supervising, like a fieldwork supervisor, you're not going to get one of these for a fieldwork supervisor. This is only for courses that are being taught. Okay, so you can see here for assignment 3, this was in spring 2. So the dates, this is Ed Tech. It's online, so there's no synchronous sessions here, okay, and pay date. So that's all the information that you're going to get on this intent to teach. That's just the first page. Okay. This is a 7-page document. So you guys, this has tons of information for you. A lot of contact information. And it has information about what the assignment pay is. I've tried to be really specific for you and give you all as much as I can. I can't answer, I don't know all the questions, so this doesn't mean you can't ask me any questions. Please feel free to do that, but I tried to give you as much information as possible here. And where I've circled here, underneath this, please contact me for your contract questions. However, if you have specific pay questions, like about your taxes, your W-4, things that are more private in nature, I can't answer those. Only HR can. And so their information is there for Jim Barcenas in Human Resources. But it goes on and talks, there's your program leaders are there, things about Capstone, there's just lots and lots of information here. And if you go a little bit more, let's get more information. And then at the very, very end is where you would sign this intent to teach. And you'll do it through Adobe Sign. Or if it doesn't come through Adobe Sign, if you have Adobe, you should be able to sign electronically from that. And you can scan it that way or just email it back to me. That's fine. I prefer it emailed rather than and please don't take pictures. I know that it's for some people it's easier, but it really is best if you actually scan it and send it to me as a PDF. Okay, so that's the intent to teach. Sign it electronically. At that point, then I will assign you into what you know as my records. Okay, so I'm not going to put you in my records until you've signed this intent to teach. Okay, and then ITT is intent to teach. And then 24 hours after that happens, there's an automatic program that runs through IT, and that is what puts you into Blackboard. Okay. So just understand that you're not going to have access to that, and you will not have access until the program leaders have approved the shells and they've been cloned. Okay, so you'll get an email from your program leader saying, now it's okay for you to go ahead and get into your shells. But wait for that. You might show up, but your shell might not. Okay? All right. And then step 3 is the contract. You guys are used to the contracts. That's where you're going to get your remuneration information. That's where you're going to get your actual CRNs and any specific assignment notes that that we might have would be on that contract. And then, you know, that always comes Adobe Sign. You electronically sign it. And I think that's about it. Yep, that's it. Okay, are there any questions? Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Any questions? Do we have anything, or should I think we're good? Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Okay. If questions come up we do have a 30-second delay. So if the questions come up, we'll get them back to Kathy so that she can get back to you. Okay, that'd be perfect. Thank you, Kathy. Once again, these are the nuts and bolts that make us operate smoothly, and we so appreciate Kathy and her attention to detail. So thank you. Now, the next few items are really full of content as far as a lot to take in. Remember last year we decided that we were going to go from 3 meetings to 2 meetings. Remember that? We made that commitment and that decision, but we also decided that because of that, we're going to have to get a lot into these 2 meetings so that we can make sure we get everything across that needs to come across throughout the year, because we have a lot of things going on. So our next piece of the agenda is going to be, let's see, program news with Dr. Kelly Albrecht and online certification. So Kelly, take it away.
Good evening. Okay, as Ron said, there's a lot. We have a lot of changes in place. They're all really exciting changes, and we think that you are all going to like them as well as our students. So the first thing I want to start with is online certification. And just as a reminder, we do have these slideshows and videos on our MAED Resource Center. So if you go to the Resource Center, then you go to the Program Development folder. It'll be by date, and you'll see February 25th. You can click on that, and the slideshow will be there. I don't know if I made it public quite yet. I'll do it right after the meeting, but if it might be public already, so you can pull it up. But you'll see that online certification is underlined. I've made that a hyperlink, so you can click on that, and if you are in the course, it will take you to this Blackboard course. Some of you may recall, and you've completed it, that we introduced this last year. It's been a year now since spring. And you probably received 1 or more emails from John Randall introducing the online certification. We're having everyone university-wide go through this to just basically train you on synchronous and asynchronous courses and introduce you to all the areas of Blackboard and learning modules and virtual sessions, all those kind of things. So if you do end up clicking on this and you're seeing an error message, it's not letting you in, you're probably not added to the course yet. If that happens, please email John Randall, and he will make sure to get you into the course so you can complete these modules. There's 5 modules. I will be talking about some of the changes in all of our programs, but for the most part, CNI and Ed Tech are currently asynchronous programs, so you will complete all the learning modules and you will not have to worry about the synchronous assignment that you'll find in Learning Module 5. There's 1 synchronous assignment for those that do teach synchronous sessions in the admin or counseling program. That will be changing for admin for most of the courses there. But so basically, if you're a school counseling instructor, you'll want to take those synchronous, you'll want to complete the synchronous assignment. And it involves meeting with John and just walking through how to do a virtual session and whatnot. So do make sure you pay attention to that and get that done, because we do have a list of folks that need to get it done. If you're not sure, you don't remember, you might have logged in and not completed it, just contact myself or John and we can tell you where you left off, what you've completed, what you need to complete still, and so that way we can get this done and checked off your list. Are there any questions online about online certification? Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, just, you know what, Ryan, I'll kind of keep looking back at you and just raise your hand if something comes up. Oh, I'm only good in private telling jokes. Okay. I wanted to reintroduce or kind of more thoroughly introduce the instructor peer reviews. Many of you have already gone through this. We're going to try to do a peer review of each instructor 1 time a year. So basically, one of our administrators will go into they will actually start off by sending you a survey that's kind of reflecting upon your own teaching practices here at Concordia. And so you can collaborate back and forth with them to just let them know, hey, I know I do this well. I know the students like this. Here's what I think I need to work on, and just kind of goal setting type of thing. And then we will walk through a peer review process with you and just collaborate and talk about your teaching and any questions that you have. It's really more of a mentorship type of a system than it is a formal evaluation. That's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to do more of a mentorship so that everybody's on the same page. Even before I came here, I had an instructor email me a question about a policy. Thank you, Stacy. She's online. But it made me think that a lot of us teach and wonder, am I doing what everyone else is doing? Am I supposed to do this? Am I not doing enough of it? And so this process will answer those questions for you. It will give you the common ground of how we teach online. So look for that coming if you haven't already. It will be coming this spring too, or we will start again in the fall. And again, it's going to be one time each year. Okay, grading, communication, and academic mornings. Please again respond to emails and phone calls that you receive from students within 24 hours. If you see the email and you can't get to it, just let them know, hey, I will get to this in more depth. Got your email, just wanted to touch base. I'll be in touch by tomorrow and give you the answers. So within 24 hours is what we ask for there. Active participation in discussion board. This is a common one too that I was discussing with instructors saying, am I doing enough? Am I not doing enough? We really do want you to be active in the discussion board. That doesn't mean that you get in there every week and you might have 2 discussion prompts for your students and you have to respond to every student. That would take hours upon hours, we know that, if you want to give a good instruction through discussion board. But rule of thumb, I would really try to hit half of your class one week and just give them a response that's in the discussion board so the whole class is seeing it. And then possibly the second week, try to hit the other students that you didn't that week. So every other week, try to hit on about half of your class so you're actively involved. The grading area is where you want to state details that are grade specific, that you wouldn't want the group to see. But your students do want you actively involved because that's part of our pedagogy and online. So do try to be active in the discussion board. And then, excuse me, post assignments and DB grades no later than 1 week from the assignment's due date. So last week they had an assignment due week 6, Sunday. You would want to make sure you posted their grades by Sunday the following week. So you have about a week to do that. Otherwise, we do have students that start to complain or are just wondering, and the biggest thing is academic warnings. We want to make sure if there's a struggling student that we are grading promptly so we don't catch them at the end where we're not really accountable anymore then. If they appeal the grade, well, we haven't followed through with grading promptly and we really can't do anything about it to prove that we've done our part. So just make sure that you do actually post everything within 1 week. Just something that came up too today that I was reminded about, discussion boards are really seen as attendance and participation, especially in our asynchronous formats. If they're not hitting on the discussion board and posting something that week, it's like they were absent from class. We really have nothing to prove that they were actively involved in class. So if a Sunday comes up and they haven't posted on the discussion board, it's a 0 because they were absent that week. If they can't get on their Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and try to backtrack, that week is closed. So that's something that we're really not flexible with because of the attendance purpose of that and participation. Assignments are a little different, as we discussed this last meeting that we had with the late policy and assignments, that we are a little more lenient with students requesting ahead of time for an extension, which we allow 1 week with a 20% deduction in points and really only one time during the course. We also will track patterns of students that get in the habit of doing this every course that aren't turning things in on time. So just wanted to hit on that as well. Okay, week 1 personal communication. Right now we ask you to make phone calls every week by about Friday of week 1. And you call every single student just to have that personal touch, reach out to them, ask if they have any questions. We're finding, at least I have found, and I've heard from others, that about 90 to 95% of the students aren't answering and you're getting a voicemail. And you're leaving a message and that's done. It's done with. You don't hear from them again. But if you leave an email, you're probably more than likely going to get a response. So we are now going to request that you use email as the first method of communication week 1. Personal emails individually to each student, not the group, so that they are a one-on-one basis with you. And then that gives them the chance to actually respond to that email. So no longer have to do the phone calls. You may still do the phone calls. That's not anything we're removing. You also can text message them. But with that, please keep in mind the FERPA requirements with that. If you're leaving a message on their phone or cell phone or texting them, it should be just a message, hi, I'm Debbie Collins from Concordia University, just reaching out to you, please give me a call back. No detailed information about why you're calling, because that's FERPA guidelines. So in the email, you can do that because you're emailing their CUI account, and that would be protected. So just something about, just keep that in mind when you are making phone calls and text messaging. All right, that leads us to some curriculum items. The library orientations and research reviews. If you ever teach a beginning course which would be EDUT 501 in Ed Tech, EDU 5, trying to think where we have it in CNI. I think it's 520. We have it in 520, maybe 515. You would, if you're teaching that course, or EDSC 511 or EDUA 516. You know that you have that library orientation that Catherine schedules every single time. Your students have to attend it. They have makeups. There's a lot of dates that are virtual sessions that our library has to do. And it's become a little bit overwhelming with us having over 1,000 students that we serve. And then we do a research review every time the student takes 580. So a lot of orientations. We need to be more efficient with that and money conscious. And so to also meet the needs of students that are in asynchronous programs and can't necessarily make the time to do a synchronous session, we've decided to go to videos. So our librarian is going to actually record some training videos. Come fall, we're going to put those recordings into the Blackboard introductory courses, and they will actually take the orientation that way and still do their assignment. So that'll prove that they actually watched the video. So no longer do they need to attend that 1 hour long session. If they have questions, then they will actually have a phone number and email so they can ask the librarian questions. We want to make sure they have that connection with the library. So it's not myself, it's not Catherine Webb, it's not someone else's face in the School of Ed in that video. It is somebody, a resource at the library that they can connect with. Will, did you have a question? Thank you. And Will just said for those folks online that he wanted to make sure they were the videos were being reviewed by us, and we have gotten that feedback as well to make sure that they are professional, they are articulate, they are well put together, because we definitely want to reflect that to our students. I know that the gentleman that was handling these was brand new and kind of thrown into this, and so it's taken him a while to learn how to do this and actually be comfortable with it. So he will be the one doing them, and we will make sure that they are good to go before we post them. We might even throw them to Will and some others. Review this. Let me know what you think. But we might actually ask for some feedback before we post them live in our classes. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay, on to the capstone project. It is changing. I just wanted to mention that it's changing in every program. All four. Question? Will the videos be set for 580 and 581 as well? Let me get to some of the content changes that we're going to be doing in the programs, but yes, if we decide to continue with a research review in 580, then they will be set in those courses. We're still deciding how much of that we need right now. I feel personally that they need to be in the very beginning of the program because they need to use these skills throughout in all of their assignments, not just in 580. And so if we have it once, they should be using it, and that should be the refresher in itself, that they're actually utilizing it and doing the searches and knowing how to do that. So we'll see if we actually do them in 580. So thank you for the question. Was that the only one? Okay, thank you. Alrighty. So the new capstone. The new 580 and 605 will take place in CNI EdTech and school counseling. We will be removing the 580, 605 from admin. And we'll be talking a lot about that tonight. It's going to be embedded more in some other courses that we're going to be developing. So they will no longer have group projects. That is the #1 item that has been problematic, at least for a lot of the administrators, and I know a lot of the instructors. We have folks that just are independent, type A personalities, want the requirements, want to get it done on their own, and not be held accountable by someone else that might not be doing the quality of work that they want to do. So we decided to get rid of the group projects. We will no longer have the NIH/city training, which also means that's getting rid of IRB. So these are going to be turning into a classroom project. The way we can do that is that they are working with children in their own classroom setting, and so it's not out of the ordinary. It's something they do on a daily basis. We're taking away the research part that actually has like interviewing of minors, intervention of the minors. We're going to be taking that away. And we also are no longer going to be publishing these in the library, which over the past year it hasn't been happening anyway, just because of staffing in the library. So we've had trouble doing that. So they won't be published with our library, and they also will not be disseminated as far as presenting them out in the public. They will still have an oral presentation, but it will be inside of their classroom, which makes it classroom project level, because they're only presenting to their peers and their instructor. Okay, so no site or participation consent, or participant consent, that goes along with the IRB. It expands on critical self-reflection, which they should be doing right now, but we're really going to touch on that now, that they understand what is critical self-reflection. It's not just saying, oh, I taught this lesson and I probably have to do this, that, and the other thing, and that's good. It's really digging deep into their practice, using some credible literature from those researchers that they've been reading about, and comparing and saying, am I really doing what I should be doing to meet the needs of the students that are sitting in front of me? And so we'll teach them how to critically self-assess themselves when they are doing their practice. And then it'll be more of an experiential observation. What has their experience been up to this point, to have them question these problems and build these research questions that they can actually build on through the literature. And the literature review is what we will really build on more as well. So it's going to be a project of critical self-reflection and literature review to answer the questions. So no more intervention and data collection in that regards. The data collection will be really focusing on the reflection journal that we already do, and any observation journals that they might come up with their former practice, or even current practice in the classroom now. Okay. The workload in 580-605, we really went towards a group project because the workload was immense. I mean, we couldn't have in the day, and I know a lot of you that are here and online have taught the 580-605 for years. And I know when I taught it, I had some projects that were 200 pages long. They were dissertation length. And they were individual projects. When you have 15 to 20 students in a class with 200-page projects, you don't have a life outside of Concordia. You're grading constantly and proofreading constantly and accepting revisions and whatnot. So we really went to the group project method because of that. Now we really need to build this where it's individual. They're held individually accountable for their work, and they are doing assignments that are pretty consistent with the workload in other courses, because that's always been a problem too. Pay the same across the board, and then here we have a course that's almost twice the work for an instructor with the grading. So we want to stop that and change it and make it so it's not twice the work for all of you. So that will mean 5 to 6 assignments, one of them probably being a group project. Most likely will be a peer review. That's kind of been a popular assignment in that course, where they get the lit review that each of them has written. They proofread it, and they're kind of grading that project. They're the instructor, they're grading the other students' work. So 4 or 5 assignments and a group project in that regards. And then individual discussion boards. So no more group work in that. The only change, small change with the group or the titles of these courses, we're taking out the longer title, which was educational research, data analysis, something or other, and just change it to educational research, because we are probably going to change a book to be more in line with teaching them how to do a solid lit review, and then some literature on self-reflections, critical reflections. So it will be giving them a good outlook on qualitative data in education, not just necessarily action research. And then capstone project. We took away the collaborative capstone project. So that's the changes with the course titles. And then again, the textbooks will change as a result. Okay, that leads us to school counseling updates. We have, in 591, we have right now 9 terms, really. We have, that's the fieldwork course, if you don't know school counseling. It goes to I. We're getting rid of I. And really, I is just a buffer. Am I right, Kara? That students that haven't quite gotten their hours done yet, then they can go on to I. We're going to be making them get this done now within those 8 terms. So 591 will be A through D for the first half, and then E through H for the second half. Online synchronous sessions will be changing. I know a lot of you are going to be thrilled about that. School counseling was our program that had a lot more stringent, more rigorous requirements than our other programs did. We had them meeting for 2 hours synchronous sessions. We are now going to have it more in line with what admin had, and that's 90-minute long sessions. We're also going to be changing the time come fall 1. So Spring 2 schedule will be 4:30 to 6, so we're decreasing it coming spring 2 starting Monday. It will be timelines 4:30 to 6 and 6 to 7:30. But in the fall, we're going to just move it up a little bit because folks have been having trouble getting to those synchronous sessions by 4:30. They're still at work or on the freeway. And so 5 to 6:30 and 6:30 to 8 will be the new time frames for those synchronous sessions in school counseling. And that's really the only 2 updates right now in school counseling. A lot will be coming, I promise you, the next time around. This is our program. Excuse me. I got myself a little cold. This is the program that we're doing a lot with Cal APA. That's a new assessment. I know probably a lot of you are familiar with the TPAs that they used to have in the credential programs. Students that were getting a teaching credential had to do these TPAs. It's similar in the admin program. They have the Cal APA that is coming and will be required of our students. With that, we really want to support our students with passing these cycles that they have to take in the Cal APA. So here's the changes that we've come up with. We are replacing the capstone 581 and 605 as well as 593 symposium. We're not getting rid of the symposium, we're just removing that 593 course, and we're embedding it in what we're calling a leadership academy or leadership courses, Cal APA leadership courses. We're getting rid of three courses and adding 3 courses, but we're embedding a lot of the curriculum into that. The 3 Cal APA leadership courses will include content based on the Cal APA cycles. This includes action research, so that's how we got away with getting rid of the capstone and admin, because there's almost all action research in those cycles. And the symposia will be integrated into those courses. So they will still have the schedule of the symposium, and then they'll have the assignment in these leadership courses. So we won't have this meeting with supervisors after the symposium. It's all going to be embedded in this. So we feel it'll be much more efficient doing it in the courses rather than at the symposium on the Saturdays. Then we have, we're changing also our delivery format. We're going to have more of a mixed model. I didn't know how else to say that with it being confused with mixed or hybrid and blended. So I just called it mixed. The 5 content-specific courses, which are 516, 17, 556, 7, and 8, we're changing those so they're now going to be asynchronous delivery. No virtual sessions in those courses anymore. It'll be just like C&I and Ed Tech. The 3 brand new courses will be 561, 62, and 63. Those will be synchronous because students need the extra support, and there's a lot of collaboration that goes along with the Cal APA in completing these cycles. So we felt that the virtual sessions were necessary in these courses. Then we have the blended admin program. That is only here on Irvine's campus. And so they also will not be doing every course blended. They will now be doing 5 courses asynchronously online. But they will be doing the 3 new leadership courses on campus blended. So weeks 1, 3, 5, and 8, they'll meet here on campus. And then the rest of the weeks, they'll actually have asynchronous online. So that's how we've reformatted the delivery. And then the practicum, Dale will talk about this in a little bit, but the practicum changed as a result of pulling the Cal APA out of the practicum. So he will discuss that in a bit. Okay, this is Tanya. She's going to actually talk about the sequence and what it looks like for the students when they complete this new program.
Okay, so everybody should be looking at a sample chart for how the new admin program will work. And this is a sample. Depending on the term, it could look slightly different. But this gives you a good idea of potentially what our fall start is going to look like. If you notice the weight load distribution at the bottom, you can see that students' weight load is actually very manageable. During the first term, they're taking 6 units worth of work, but from that point on, it's 4 units. To start the program, ideally, students would still begin with 516 as our introductory course. During that same time, they would be taking one of our new courses which are being developed. And this would be, in this sample up here, Cal APA cycle number 3. And please note that this Cal APA cycles can be taken in any order. It doesn't matter. They don't need to be taken in sequence where cycle 1 is followed by cycle 2, which is followed by cycle 3. That doesn't have to be the case. They can be taught out of line. The one thing that we are going to be very cognizant of is teaching cycle number 1 during our summer term, because cycle 1 is actually, Cal APA cycle 1 does not require colleagues or students to be on campus. You can complete that cycle just using data analysis, among other things, but it's the easiest cycle to complete during the summer term. So ideally we'll place that cycle in summer term. And you can notice then that the practicum begins during the second term. So students are in our program, they take 2 courses, they're already familiar with the Cal APA cycles, and then during the second term they jump into practicum. Practicum continues to span 6 terms like it does currently, so nothing there is changing as far as the pacing of the practicum itself. And let me see what else I wanted to share with you. Really, students they'll graduate in the same amount of time, and nothing else really changes other than we are doing our best to set our students up to be successful so that they do know the content that is required for the Cal APA cycles. And Dr. Catherine Webb is actually going to share with you more on the Cal APA cycles. Kelly, did you want me to go in? Is that a broad enough coverage for right now? Yeah, you can see that our content courses haven't changed other than the admission of the capstone and then the 593 symposium course, which the content now becomes the 3 different cycles, and the symposium are embedded within each of the Cal APA new courses. So you'll receive, candidates will receive 1 symposium as they're taking 563, and then they would complete their second symposium as they're taking EDUA 562, and then the final one during the final course. Okay, thank you.
Questions up to this point, Ryan? Oh yes, that's okay. Here, Will, I'm going to give you the mic, so they can hear online.
So I just know that I have some of the EDUA or the admin program students who are doubling up on courses with the schedule that was just introduced here. So that will not be the case for them, or will they still be able to double up on certain courses to try and complete early?
Okay, great question, Will. So Will's asking about our late starts. Typically, we offer late starts during 2 different terms, both in fall and then in spring. So there is indeed a schedule ready for those students where they can jump into our program and still be successful. Their distribution of weight load looks a little more intense, but it does right now the way the program is designed as well. When students are starting late, of course, it becomes a little bit more challenging for them, but it's definitely possible.
And also we have the sequence of courses right now in our resource center for how we do it now. We'll also have all those different starts, so you'll know, because it does change according to those starts, because like Tanya said, it'll be a little more impacted when they do the late starts. Okay, we're ready for Catherine Webb.
Hi friends, my name is Catherine Webb and I'm a professor here at Concordia University, Irvine. I just wanted to introduce myself to those of you who may not know me. I currently live in Cedar City, Utah. I'm a remote worker. We live at the base of Bryan Head Resort, and we are just west of Zion National Park. These are my fur babies. I've got quite a few. But I just wanted to introduce myself before we got into the groundbreaking news about Cal APA.
Over a year ago, we began a conversation about the upcoming California Administrator Performance Assessment, or Cal APA. We as a university participated in the CTC field test and learned that in order for our students to successfully pass the assessments and be prepared administrators, we would need to make some program changes. Just to review, the Cal APA is a series of 3 cycles or assessments that students who are enrolled in a preliminary administrator preparation program must take and pass in order to be recommended for an administrative credential. Initially, we rolled these cycles into our practicum courses, but after further review and discussion, we have opted to create Leadership Academy courses to explicitly teach targeted CAPE concepts that will help prepare our students for the 3 cycles. The courses will replace the 2 capstone courses and will include the 3 symposiums, making these new courses 3 units each and totaling 300 points. Because the cycles require students to access data, research problems of practice, and implement change, replacing the capstone with these courses seemed to be a natural fit to avoid redundancy and allow instructors to explicitly teach specific need-to-know concepts for our new administrators. The 3 courses have been titled EDUA 561, Analyzing Data to Inform School Improvement and Promote Equity, EDUA 562, Facilitating Communities of Practice, and EDUA 563, Supporting Teacher Growth. Each course will follow the current standard structure of our online synchronous and blended formats. There will be 4 to 6 assignments, 5 to 7 discussion board prompts, and opportunities for students to work collaboratively. Students will be required to meet synchronously online weeks 1, 3, 5, and 8, or face-to-face during these weeks for the blended format. Because instructors who teach these courses are limited in what assistance can be provided to students, these classes will offer ample time for students to share work and collaborate with one another. The symposiums and the accompanying assignment will also be placed within these new courses and included in the overall course grade. In addition to EDUA 561, 562, and 563, a placeholder for EDUA 564 has been created as a remediation course for students who may not pass one or more of the Cal APA cycles. This will be a 1-unit course to include content for one cycle that has not been passed. If a student does not pass more than 1 cycle, he or she may be required to enroll in this remediation course more than once. We are currently in the non-consequential year of the Cal APA, meaning that students are required to take the assessments, but they are not required to pass the assessments in order to be recommended for the credential. Beginning fall 2019, we will enter the consequential phase of the Cal APA rollout, meaning that students must pass in order to be recommended for the credential. We plan to have these courses created and approved by summer 2019. If you are interested in teaching these new courses, please consider applying to be a Cal APA assessor through Pearson. This training will provide you with the most comprehensive information about the cycles and better equip you to successfully guide our students. You can apply online by visiting the CTC homepage at www.ctcexams.nesinc.com. Please let us know if you have any questions. We are happy to help, and thank you so much for your time.
Great job, Kat. Thank you so much. Okay, now it's not letting me forward. There we go. Ah! Dale, there you are. Dr. Dale Folkens, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I have changes for the practicum that don't come anywhere near to the other changes. So obviously, if the new courses are going to include the Cal APA, they will no longer be part of the practicum. That's great news for those of you that are practicum supervisors or going to be practicum supervisors, because it allows us to go back to what the practicum was designed for, and that was the fieldwork hours, that experience of sitting in the discipline office or handling ELAC or DLAC meetings, those type of activities, which by the time our students were done with their Cal APA tasks, they didn't have much time to dedicate to their school site from learning about day-to-day administrative tasks. So those are coming out. We will still have the 100-hour requirement, which will allow, it's never been a problem, but it'll allow the students to actually get those hours in a real-life setting. The second piece is a couple, excuse me, minor changes to some of the documents. And once again, this will be for fall of 2019. The first one, we're making changes to the planning document. Many of you that have taught the practicum know how complex that document was, and not only did our students not really understand what they were supposed to do with it, the veteran practitioners didn't know what they were supposed to do with it. So it's being redesigned with, once again, more focus on the Cal APAs as well as the standards. So the students will be able to go in and plug in information. Much like with some of the other stuff we're doing, people are asking, do we have a list of sample activities? No, we don't, because it's new. As we start collecting information, then we'll start having some samples. For example, this last term we rolled out the new log of hours document. We're getting our first round of 35-hour completion documents being submitted to be able to see how those are working and what's working out with that, to come up with some sort of ideas that we can then share with you as instructors, that we can then share on with the students. The second piece is a very minor change. Our document checklist that is submitted at the end of 590 and 591 did not have any place for the students to mark off that they had submitted to Pearson and CTC. Minor issue, but it did come up. We all have those students, right? It's not on the checklist, so I didn't do it. So it is being included to that, and the checklist will be modified to address the new the changes that have taken place in the practicum. So it had been revised to include Cal APA submission. Now it won't include that because it's in its own thing. So it's all a very fluid process. The biggest change will be, we're not sure what we're going to call it yet, but something like a portfolio. So that's why it's in quotation marks. But the students are going to put together some sort of portfolio of their culmination, a culmination of their work through the program. We had a lot of positive feedback from our symposium on human resources, where the students actually had to create a letter of introduction, work on a resume, work on getting those letters of recommendation. So that's part of what we're going to put into this, is some of those, how to get ready for that first admin job. What are those interview questions going to be like? So it'll have some of that. It's also going to have a spot where the students upload all of their signature assignments from the other coursework. So that means as you're teaching 516, 517, and those signature assignments are coming in, emphasize to the students, this isn't just for me, this goes in your portfolio of your collection of work that you've done for Concordia. We're also talking about some sort of kind of like an abstract. We're all familiar with abstracts, but how great would it be for our students to have a paragraph, a couple hundred words of, this is my understanding of school finance. Not a signature assignment. They can't go into a job interview and read off, you know, an 8-page paper on school finance, but they can have a 30-second answer or response on, this is what I understand about budgets and that type of aspect, or the evaluation process. So to come up, that's that coursework abstracts of working on the students to be able to capitalize, is that a word? To synthesize what they've learned in each course that could then be shared at that job interview. And that's about it. Any questions online? Ask Ron.
And then I'll hand the mic to Tanya and Kelly. Thank you. All right, thank you, Dale. Okay, I know there's a lot to take in all at once, but those of you who have taught the admin classes in the past recognize what an incredible change and departure this is from business in the past. It's a whole new world in admin. And we are so fortunate because we have had a great team working on this revision of the admin program pretty much all year. And it's been a daunting process. A lot of training, a lot of tweaking, a lot of brainstorming. And Dale Folkins, Jill Swisher, Barbara Howard, Tanya Tarbutten, Kelly Albrecht, Kent Schlichtenmeyer, Kat Webb, all were instrumental in making this happen. A huge process. We are in a great place. What I'm excited about is that I'm now able to go out to schools and districts and talk to HR people and administrators and say, we have an admin credential program that incorporates Cal APA in an incredibly user-friendly format. Going to Cal APA trainings, you're still hearing lots of universities saying, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're still not sure how we're going to make this work. And we have it packaged and ready to go. So we are really excited about this. But it's going to take time. And as everyone knows, when the state rolls out a new initiative, the first year is like, let's fix that. So we're waiting for the state to go, and fix it. Okay, because there will be things that have to be fixed along the way, but we're poised right now to do a great job of preparing admin students for the new Cal APA world. So we're really excited about that. Okay, that's a lot of content and a lot of stuff that we've shared with you already. Now it's time to kind of take a departure from what we normally do, and we're going to do kind of like a little focus group thing tonight. And I gave you an email heads up that tonight we're going to be talking about something very, very important, and that is student enrollment and access to students that we can bring into our program. One of the changes in the transition to online is we're starting to realize that in the past, face-to-face lent itself very nicely to word-of-mouth communication. And so there was a lot of opportunity for word-of-mouth communication to your colleagues and friends and, you know, district colleagues, et cetera. That really is not quite the same when we're almost all online. So what are we going to do? We are asking you tonight to give us input as the ambassadors, and I think the next slide should be down here. We are up. Don't start. We are going up to where to go. It's not there, but that's okay. Anyhow, bottom line is you're the ambassadors out there for us. When you're teaching, when you're working in your school districts and your schools, you're the ambassadors for Concordia University, okay? So Concordia University Adjunct Faculty Ambassadors is what we're calling you, and we mean that. We need you out there to be talking to people. So what I'm asking tonight is for us at this point in time to begin a focus group conversation here in the room, but also online, asking you, how can you, as one of our adjunct faculty, how can you help us to bring our programs to your schools and districts? What can you do as an employee in your district to help us reach people where you are? Okay, we want to have that personal touch. We don't want to lose that personal touch in the online environment. We want to maintain that personal connection. So we're going to start here in just a minute. I'm going to monitor the chat on my computer. We'll have the same conversation here in this room, and we want to continue this meeting with asking you for ideas, suggestions, just brainstorming. What can you do to help us get our programs into your schools? Okay, any questions so far? Okay, it'll be a little tricky with a 30-second delay, but we'll do the best we can to maintain continuity here. Okay, so what I'm expecting now is to see in 30 seconds all these amazing ideas popping up on the chat and also in the room. Okay, so how about in the room here? Anybody have any ideas, thoughts that you've come up with on how we can get the word out?
Well, I'm not actually out in the field anymore at school sites, but I find myself talking all the time about Concordia and its program, and the feedback that I get from the people that I talk to is, oh yeah, my nephew went there. Oh yeah, I know somebody that is there. So I just see that that more and more people are aware of Concordia and what we have to offer, and so that's how I'm doing it, is just talking about us all the time.
Thank you. Yes. Microphone over here.
Well, as a practitioner out as a middle school principal and also being an adjunct professor, I have multiple opportunities, not only at the district level, but also at site level, to talk about the program and the opportunities that all of our teachers have to grow in their professional development. And if you're going to grow in your professional development, why not? You know, get your master's in curriculum instruction or become an administrator. And it's all about that coaching and mentoring at the site level that is so powerful. And I think that Tustin Unified School District has a lot of students that have taken an active part at Concordia, and it just keeps growing.
Thank you. Tracy brings up a good point, and that is we've been in the process of last year of going out to visit school districts and talk with superintendents, introduce ourselves, and say, we're from Concordia University, here's who we are, here's our program. Kent, Deb, and myself have had a chance to do this, and it's been very effective in getting our name out there and making that connection with people personally. So one suggestion Tracy just brought up is, in your district, how can you connect us to those people? Okay, I can try, get a hold of Tracy and say, hey, can you work with your people at your district to get us in to meet your superintendent or your assistant superintendent of instruction or HR? And so those kinds of connections, networking, really would be helpful for us. Okay, all right, we have some comments here. Hi, Denise. Hi, cousin. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. Get invites to the sites during a faculty meeting. Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's someplace where you would really be able to help us. If you would kind of pave the way for us to come to a faculty meeting, we could arrange that together and come at a time that would be beneficial. But you being in the field would give us the chance to have that personal connection and be able to say, hey, we want to invite Concordia to our school, and here we go. Okay, connect with CUI alumni at conferences. Okay, that's a great idea. I like the portfolio assignment. This is extremely valuable. Okay, off topic. I'd like to have a sign. Okay, I'd like to have a sign or something that I could hang in my office so people could see it. Okay, those are things we could arrange. Banners, 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 banners. We love banners. Okay, we'll send a request to Kathy Mueller for a banner. If you want a banner for your school, let us know. We will get you a banner. That's a great idea. There you go. Yeah, fantastic. Kelly just suggested that she takes banners to her kids' schools. So if you have kids at school or connections, take them to the school. Bill Selek said, I'd like to see a huge presence at Spring Q, being visible at these conferences that people are attending. That would be great. That's a great idea. Former student testimonials about the program, how they have applied to their work. Sending a brief information to OCDE newsroom, writing personal letters to superintendents. Great. Recently, Brad, that was Lahia. Brad said, I recently discussed the CUI program with our CUSD HR Associate Superintendent. Fantastic. Larry, connect with the HR department. That's something we're working on, but once again, your help in doing that is crucial. If you had that connection, to just give that, it's as simple as saying to the director of HR when you see him in a meeting, hey, I'd like to introduce you to some people from Concordia. Are you willing to meet with them for 15 minutes? Just that personal connection will open the door versus walking into the district office and saying, hi, I'm here to see the assistant soup. And they're like, yeah, right. They're busy. So those personal connections, that will give us great traction. Okay, Michael would like a banner as well. Fantastic. Let's see. Various programs have become more aggressive in their marketing. While I have retired, I saw much more marketing taking place from several schools. That's very true. There are some schools that are aggressively marketing out there right now, and we want to be out there with them. We want to be in the forefront. We want to be the go-to university in Orange County and across the state. And we want to, now that we're online and able to, we want to expand that online presence as far as we can. Let's see, we could approach those schools with college-oriented programs like AVID, college prep classes, even career days. We could be one of their speakers and talk about Concordia's programs. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was from Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte. And Ray was mentioning the aggressive marketing. Michael Tyler, oops, lost you. Would love a banner, okay. Heather says, alum have told me they are interested in our doctoral program. I wonder if we could offer some incentive for those who sign up for our doctoral program who also recruit someone from our master's program. Okay, some incentives to go into the doctoral program. Okay, Kent says we're working on that. Okay, fantastic. How about a booth at the AXA conference? Yep, we're very well connected with AXA, so that's great to expand our presence there at their annual conference. Thank you, Joe. Robert Kennard. We compete with CSU, which is cheaper. We need to highlight our advantages, and there are quite a few. There are strong arguments to suggest that we're actually surprisingly affordable. Excellent point. Great job, Robert. Yes, we do compete with the big schools. And so we have to identify what is it about us that makes us competitive with them, and it's not being big, it's not these monster programs, it's what we've done all along, which is personal contact, support, nurturing, community-based approach to what we do. And that's the message we have to get out to students is, you know what, we may not be CSU, but we've got a great program, and this is why it's best for you. So, yeah. LAUSD has a newspaper called United Teachers. Here he shares this with us, where colleges, universities advertise their graduate programs, credential programs. John says, I did hear from CUSD today, and reference was Brad mentioned. Consider advertising in the AXA publication EdCal. We do that. We have a full page spread in there most of the time. You know Nima, she's always there. So we do advertise in AXA, and it really is a great marketing avenue. Bill says some of our alum present at conferences, pay them to make short videos, share those online, mostly on Facebook. Heather, do you have a one-pager of talking points we could use to talk to our HR department? That's a great point. Thank you so much, Heather. We could easily do that.
With the talking points, my question to you was, does Concordia collect what districts teachers are coming from? So to give us talking points to saying this district has already seen 100 students come through this program or 50 students, and we can help increase that rigor and relevance in the classroom with this many students still coming through and supporting that. That would be my question. The other thing that I would suggest going into CUI and things, Q and other conferences, is there a tag that we can create that is handed out saying you're going to represent Concordia, even to our alumni, that says Concordia alumni, so that way it's tagged with a bunch of other ribbons that are on their name tags already, so it's just another place that they can represent. You see CUI's name out there on top of the other universities.
Excellent idea as well, thank you. And the answer to your question is I don't know right now. We'll find out. That's a great idea. Let's identify ourselves. If you're a Q, have a banner or a badge. I'm a CUI faculty member. Okay. All right. Let's see. Back up here a little bit. Okay. One pager. I love that idea. Thank you, Heather. Lisa, if you pay attention to AXA, you are usually already a counselor or in a program. You need to hit the teachers who are considering the switch. Excellent point. All these things are being recorded and captured. So these ideas are great. Thank you so much. Keep them coming, because this is what we're looking for, is these kinds of ideas that we can capture and somehow put into action. College fairs, absolutely. With AB, John, with AB 119 being passed, there is a mandatory beginning of the year orientation. Concordia needs to partner with districts to get into the mandatory meeting. Okay, John, tell us more about that, please. Email us. Kathleen, PSD has a weekly newsletter available for free advertising. In addition, CUI could present CUI info nights in our district several times a year. Francine Stewart, how about the local Christian churches in our area? I know that we do have an outreach to the Lutheran churches, but there's a broader market out there that we could be advertising and recruiting to. Great. Heather, AXA conference for school counselors. Oh, ASC, I'm sorry, not AXA, ASCA, ASCA. Lori, I agree with Bill's assessment that we need to capitalize on online forms of marketing since we provide programs that cater toward teachers always on their computers. Mark, I connect with our first and second year BITSA teachers at the beginning of the year. Heather, they have state, local, and national chapters. Jennifer, I work in Irvine and my teachers attend Concordia. I can introduce you to anyone at the district level that you are interested in meeting. Thank you, Jennifer. That's great. That's perfect. Host meetings, happy hours at conferences. Okay, I think we all enjoy happy hours. AXA conferences, CABE conferences. Heather, maybe some incentives for Lutheran school teachers. They tend to get, yep, okay. Bill, CUE is hosting a sticker swap, tons of free marketing. We should be giving about out to 3,000 stickers at that event. Wow. Wow. Okay, something to know about. And then catching up here, Bill at Spring Q next month. Happy face. All right. And the thoughts generated in the room here as we've been listening to feedback from those online. Okay, all very valuable, helpful information. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other thoughts online? And we'll wait for the delay to pass before we go further. Joe, as a side note, becoming an administrator is no longer as attractive as in the past. Joe, I would recommend focusing efforts on districts where there's a shortage of administrators. Absolutely. Very good point, Joe, and I don't mean to say it in jest, but I used to always ask, whoever said I wanted to be a principal when I grow up? Do you know anybody who said I want to be a principal when I grow up? I don't know any. Nobody ever said that. So yeah, it's true. But with all jest aside, Joe is absolutely correct. Being an administrator is a challenging, rewarding, but challenging job. And now with Cal APA and all the new requirements, it's going to be interesting to see how people respond to, yes, I want to be a principal, plus I want to do all this too. So we have to help them understand the benefits of being an administrator and how Concordia can help them with that goal. Okay? All right. Funny one, Joe. Jennifer, Q ribbons to advertise Concordia is a great idea. Okay. All right. Any other thoughts in the room? No? Mm-hmm. Good idea, yeah. Will was just sharing that we may want to consider working with unions to access teachers. Excellent. Okay. I think somebody is playing tag. They said, not it, not it. EdTech is an excellent program to advertise. All teachers need to integrate technology. Absolutely. Yeah, we're not talking just about admin here or anything. We're talking about all of our programs. And, you know, undergrad all the way through the doctoral program. The more we do, the more we say about Concordia, the better. All right, so thank you for your input. I think we have probably gathered most of the comments that you've thought of. And I can't emphasize enough that this is our program. It's not just the people in the room. It's not just, you know, one or two people who are running things. Our adjunct faculty and our full-time faculty that teach in the MAED are our program. You're the ones that make it happen, you're the ones that make it work, and you're the ones who keep this program going. So thank you for everything you do. thank you for the feedback tonight, because it really has helped us to get some ideas on how we can continue to get out there and form those partnerships. We're very fortunate right now. We have a great partnership with OCDE, with AXA, and other professional organizations. So we have some really great connections that we're working with, and we're happy to continue and expand those. And so we're looking forward to any ideas you might have. So all I can say at this point is please send other ideas to us. Don't stop now. If you're thinking of something later in the week and it comes to mind, it's like, oh, Concordia could do this. Send me an email. Send one of us an email saying, hey, got an idea. Why don't you try doing this? And we will take all that input and try to put it into practice. So thank you for that. I hope that this is invigorating for you to be thinking about this, because, you're our greatest fans out there and our ambassadors in the community. So thank you. Okay, we're going to be moving on now to our next item of business. Okay, which is our Spotlight of Excellence. Yes. Okay. Are we going to wait for just a second? Okay. All right. We're trying to keep this a secret. Speaking of secrets, I went to Cal APA training at university locally a couple of weeks ago, and I enrolled at the last second in the course and everything, and I got there and I was not fully enrolled, and the lady in charge says, "So, how did you find out about this?" I said, "Well, a colleague of mine told me that I should attend, and so here I am." So I applied to go online over the weekend, but it wasn't finished yet. And she goes, "Well, how did you find us?" I go, "Well, I talked to my colleague who's doing the TPA training here as well, and she said it's at this university." And he goes, "Oh, we don't usually tell people where these things are." She says, "We usually just say it's in Irvine, but we don't tell you where." And I said, "Well, that's interesting. You're trying to get assessors for this program. You're dying to have assessors, and you need assessors, and you want to train assessors, but you don't tell them where it is." It's a secret. Thought this doesn't make any sense. But anyhow, so it's a secret. Okay, our best kept secrets for tonight. We have two. We have two program awards that we want to present, and the first one is coming from EdTech, and Sandy Mercier is going to share who that is.
I've been waiting for this all night, and I am so excited. Hello, everyone. As you might know, my name is Sandy Mercier, and I have the privilege of introducing our colleague who is receiving the Spotlight of Excellence Award this evening for educational technology. This individual has been in the fields of education and technology for quite a while. Over the years, he has taught both in the classroom, teaching elementary music, kindergarten, and second grade, and in several capacities as a technology coach and mentor. Currently, he is serving, I'm gonna give it away now, he is serving at Hillbrook School, an independent JK through 8th school in the Bay Area, as the Director of Technology. This awesome school was recently selected as an Apple Distinguished School for 2015 through 2017 as an exemplary learning environment for innovation, leadership, and educational excellence. In addition, this individual is an International Society for Technology in Education, or ISTE, award winner, an ISTE Emerging Leader, a Google Certified Innovator, an Apple Distinguished Educator, a Google Certified Educator, Apple Teacher, and, I have more, is Leading Edge Certified in Online and Blended Teaching, the Digital Educator, and Professional Developer Certifications. I got all that out. As you might have guessed, tonight's award winner is Professor Bill Selleck. Yay, Bill! And I have more to say. Bill joined our team here at Concordia in March of 2016, and he has been a valued member ever since. He's very dedicated to all of his students and here at Concordia, and he has taught pretty much everything we've asked him to in EdTech and beyond. His courses include, but are not limited to, EDUT 501, 521, 522, 523, 531, 547, 586, and of course even the capstone courses, 580 and 605, that he has so willingly done with us, for us. And he's also the current subject matter expert for EDUT 501, and he does an excellent job. I'm so grateful for that. His students also have shared a lot of commendations about Professor Selleck, and I'm going to share just a few of those with you. One student writes, Professor Selleck is very knowledgeable and passionate about his subject area. I really enjoyed his class. Another one writes, Professor Selleck is enthusiastic and provided us with great resources. He allows us to have autonomy over our assignments and be creative. It is evident that he is passionate and well connected with other educators in the EdTech realm. You can tell he really loves what he does. And one more, he encouraged collaboration and creativity. He also made this course applicable to today's classroom. Professor Selleck is truly an expert in technology education, and his vast knowledge in this area is so impressive. I wish he could teach more of my classes. Wow. Bill is also very highly regarded by his colleagues here at Concordia, and I'm definitely one of those that highly regards him. Please join me, though, in watching this video to understand a bit more why. Not that one. Not that one. There it is.
Everybody, this is Ramsey Musalam. I'm here with my daughter. What's your name?
Riley.
Riley. And I just want to say congratulations to you, Bill. And also I want to say thank you for introducing me to the Concordia family. Working with graduate students has always been a passion of mine, and I really appreciate you introducing me to this wonderful community. I first met you back 2010, I think, at an ed camp in Oakland, and I was just in awe of your presentation and your passion for educational technology. And since then, our paths have crossed at ISTE and Q, and we always seem to share ideas. And I just really appreciate how open and loving you are, and how much you just want everybody around you to succeed. So I know your students at the high school level are blessed to have you, and I know the students at Concordia are blessed to have you, and I'm hoping to follow your lead as we continue to work with students at Concordia together. So thank you for being an inspiration to the community here and the community just globally in the ed tech sphere. So thank you so much, Bill, and congratulations, my friend. Best of luck. Everybody, this is Ramsey Musalam together. So thank you for being an inspiration to the community here and the community just globally in the ed tech sphere. So thank you so much, Bill, and congratulations, my friend. Best of luck.
That was from Dr. Ramsey Musalam. So, definitely. So for these reasons and then some, Bill Selleck is absolutely worthy of the Spotlight Award for Educational Technology. Congratulations, Bill. Oh, we got fancy with the full name in there, William. Also, Bill, Kathy Mueller is very, very diligent, and so much so that she already has your award mailed off to you. So you should be getting that soon. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Sandy, and congratulations, Bill. I just was thinking about when Kat was sharing her video tonight, that she used what Bill shared with us in a professional development that he did, getting to know you. Now I know Kat has furry friends and furry family members. I didn't know that. And yeah, Bill gave us that idea in his tour of his school. Exactly. That personal connection. Great job, Kat. Great job, Bill. And if you want to really impress your district leaders, just say, you know, Bill Selleck. All right. Congratulations, Bill. And now Tanya is going to share our administrators' Spotlight on Excellence. Tanya.
Thank you. Okay. Tonight, I have the honor of sharing our Spotlight on Excellence Award for our admin director from our admin program. The individual receiving the Spotlight on Excellence Award tonight has expertise in public education that spans decades. She began her career as a kindergarten teacher in 1977. She later worked as a site principal, assistant superintendent in human resources, a deputy superintendent, and finally superintendent of schools. That's a wealth of experience right there. This vast array of experiences provides a wealth of knowledge for our administrative candidates that is grounded in best practices. Tonight's award winner is Dr. Debbie Collins. I'm not finished yet, though. Dr. Collins joined CUI in 2011. She currently serves as a subject matter expert for EDUA 557, our Human Resources course. She also teaches in our MAED program as well as the EDD program. As the SME, Dr. Collins works to craft assignments and coursework that is engaging and impactful for our students. She has an excellent understanding of what students should know and be able to do upon graduating our program. The tremendous efforts of Dr. Collins do not go unnoticed by her students, as they shared the following affirmations. We are fortunate to have Dr. Collins as our professor for this capstone project. We felt very supported. Dr. Collins is an exceptional advisor for capstone. She is very experienced, and I feel comfortable working with her. Dr. Collins is always available for any questions we have, and she is just an email away. Thank you for all your help and guidance, Dr. Collins. You rock. Hashtag Team Collins. The instructor has a great sense of humor and enlightens the atmosphere despite the overwhelming tasks required in this course. The instructor is knowledgeable and well-informed during lecture and is dedicated to student learning. And then I too gathered comments from Dr. Collins' colleagues, and they shared the following information. Debbie Collins is outstanding. Her tremendous administrative experience as a district administrator was a great asset to the courses she has taught. Debbie would drive great distances to help out when a group needed her strong but gentle guidance. As one example, there was a group that finished 581 and were so unhappy that we needed to bring in Debbie the Master to finish their capstone course. The group went from being very unhappy to being very grateful. And finally, another colleague shared, Debbie Collins is an exceptionally dedicated instructor who was always willing to serve wherever there was a need, regardless of location or challenge in the LA area. She brings a tremendous professional background and years of experience in educational administration to the various roles in which she enthusiastically serves at CUI, and she is highly regarded by her students, fellow faculty members, and staff throughout the School of Education. Debbie Collins is truly deserving of the Spotlight Award, and I could not agree more. Thank you, Dr. Collins, for all you do. Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
Yes, absolutely. I was really looking forward to tonight sitting on my couch in my sweatpants and my sweatshirt watching this online. And I was all ready for that. And I got this email from Kelly, and she said, oh, Debbie, she said, are you going to come? Are you going to do virtual or going to come to the meeting? I said, oh, I'm going to go virtual, of course. And she says, well, why don't you come? There's some things I want to run past you. And so I wrote her back. I said, well, you know, if you really want me to come, Kelly, I'll come, but can't you just call me? And she says, no, I'd really like to have you there. And I said, okay, fine. I'll come. Just anything for you, Kelly. I'll do anything for you. So I did. So I came. So anyway, but I'm here, and actually this is wonderful. I think that I have really enjoyed Concordia and in the way it's evolved since 2011. It has truly evolved, and after tonight, oh my goodness, yet another leap for us. So, and I've been there, and I've enjoyed all aspects of my work here. So again, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to continue on for decades more. What did you say? Decades. Okay, I know that has to be me. I'm the oldest one in the room. Anyway, so thanks again for this, and thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. That's outstanding. Thank you. All right. Ask Bill if you'd like to say something. I'm okay. Thanks for checking. Barb Howard says, we love you, Debbie. Let's see, we have congrats, Debbie. Yes. Okay, lots of good comments. So, congratulations. All I can say is that Debbie and Bill represent each and every one of our faculty, because everybody has done an outstanding job for Concordia. And we love to recognize individuals, and we want to say that every one of you who are involved in the program with us are valued, and just fabulous people. So thank you. Okay, ever have a faculty meeting that ended early? We could talk for a little while longer. No, you sure about that? Okay. As long as Kent doesn't say anything so the WASC people don't come after us. We got our time in. Happy hour. That was a suggestion, wasn't it? Happy hour. Okay. There is one last little thing I do want to mention, and that is Kristen Schmidt came to us a year ago with the online resource writing lab, and shared the program with us. And I asked her if she would send out information once again to kind of refresh our memories about what we have available to us, because it's outstanding. And I'll just say that what she says, the first paragraph, this little outline is, none of us want to read first drafts. Amen. We don't want to do that. Let the OWL do that for you. Your students will receive feedback on the drafts and suggestions for revision, and you will get a more polished paper. So we sent this out to you today via email, and also we have access to this online lab card here. But I just do want to say, you're not out there to grade papers. You're not an English teacher teaching people how to write. You're there for what you're an expert in. So let the lab help you with all that stuff that can be taken care of without your precious time. Okay? All right, so this is our last meeting for the year, isn't it? Oh my goodness, and it's only February. But we're not done for the year, so please don't stop. Please stay with us. And I really mean it. Please keep the suggestions coming after tonight. Thoughts come to mind. Send us ideas on how can we get into your district to get the word out about Concordia University. Okay? Fantastic. All right, thank you all. Great team effort by everybody. Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody, and go to happy hour.